You may have heard of Sylvester, an 11-year-old boy who was a boarder at Dowen College, Lagos, and out of the result of bullying by his fellow senior students, he actually died. And before his death, he gave what is legally called declaration of death. Well, I can tell you for a fact now that all those people who has been suspected or rather mentioned in that declaration has been released from police custody, as well the house masters. And it's quite shocking and also quite worrisome to actually say that justice for Sylvester has officially ended in a hashtag, just like Tasha said. His autopsy result was released about 2 or a day ago, and his family actually brought it out in public, and I'm going to be discussing that in this video. But before we get into that, I just want to make some clarification on this video concerning a relative video made by one of a popular true crime storyteller, and that is actually Daniel. Maybe you have, or you should actually have known his channel called True Crime Daniel, right? Yeah. So I love his stories. He's an incredible story writer, and I've learned a lot of spooky realities from his channel rather. So it's more like his channel has been a platform that has publicly told people stories that has been happening in Nigeria especially. He actually covered the story on justice for Sylvester and how he was bullied and everything. And I must say for a fact that I literally did not agree with his own opinions on Sylvester's story. And I actually commented on his video saying, please take down the video. And likewise, if you go down to the comment section, hundreds of people also who watched that particular video thought same just like I thought. They felt like his opinions were not really true and quite not factual but quite delusional. In my own way, I thought he was being diplomatic, not to be on the other side of Dowen or on the other side of Sylvester, but I would say he was just too diplomatic that he actually forgot the main relevance or the main factual stories or facts in issue in Sylvester's. So in reference to the video which Daniel made concerning Sylvester's story, he claimed to have contacted someone who was a student, or rather is still a student of Dowen College. Now let me highlight some things that I actually did not agree with him in that video. First off, not in words, but he said something like Daniel was never beaten. He didn't do this claim directional, like it was just indirectly. It was his opinion rather. He also said that some of them were not actually boarders, but rather day students. So how could they as day students be in the school on weekends? He also claimed that Sylvester was never given any substance, and that was alone is just very insensitive, because if he wasn't given any substance, why then the bruises on his lips? Another one said maybe everything that happened wasn't true, or isn't true rather. Now, I'm not doing this video to debunk Daniel or downgrade him. What's my stand on that? I have nothing to achieve. He's a very great storyteller, and he has his rights to share his opinions, but sometimes, just like I said, because of diversity, opinions can clash, and I felt like I need to talk about this because that video in particular has hundreds of thousands of views, and I'm beginning to think how many people would believe what really Daniel said in that video and become misinformed. This is the reason why I'm really doing this video, is just to highlight some very certain things that people should really look into. Now, the message which was actually sent to Sylvester's sister concerning, which actually went very viral online, concerning literally everything that has happened by or from rather Sylvester's classmate. Now, many people said it wasn't true, including Daniel. Daniel said that he didn't quite want to believe, that the message may not be true because it felt very strange to him. Now on Twitter, someone said that they can't really believe that message because that message is written so good to have come from someone who is just in JSS1. No, that one punctured me, because how would you want to necessarily downgrade a whole message that came with facts, all in the name of you don't believe that thing can be so beautifully written with the right punctuation marks and capital letters and good use of words choices, because you feel like people, or students rather, who are in JSS1 are not good enough in English to write beautifully. I mean, that just proved her foolishness and her English illiteracy anyways. Okay, now let's go back to the autopsy. The autopsy came out, and I actually had the source of this in Daniel's recent video rather, where he said that the autopsy was actually scheduled on the 2nd of December 2021, which is just immediately Slyvester died in Delta State, and has already been signed by the commander of police and has actually passed the legalities. So now the autopsy here included that everything has happened to him, and everything was given a substance, a chemical to drink, and yeah, he had internal injuries and everything, but he really did not have any outer injuries or marks that symbol that he has been beaten, but only a little bruise at his back. Now, okay, I understand that, yeah, it can happen. Then I went back to the narrative of what happened. He was beaten with belts on top of his bunk bed, that he fell down, and he was also kicked on his head. Now, in every claim made on that beating, nobody ever said he had so much bruises on his body. And literally in the videos shown where he was carried around from one place to another, we didn't see any bruise on his body or whatever, or marks. But the only noticeable physical damage that actually happened to Slyvester, I believe, was on his face. More very enchanting or kind eye-catching was the one on his lips, which was peeled and very like damaged. He couldn't talk and everything. I mean, aside his face, I don't think I've seen any video of him while he was still alive of him having any bruises on his body. So I can totally understand that. Now, according to Daniel's opinion on this, he felt like wow, that normally anybody who is beaten with belts and all these things, that there will usually be bruises on your body and blah blah blah, that you are meant to. It's more like generalization, like if you are beaten with belts and hard surfaces, you're usually meant to have bruises on your body. If this is actually look very detailed, we can tell that yes, you can be beaten so hard and kicked and even fall down from the bunk bed and you won't actually have bruises. But I can tell this is true because remember, he wasn't able to walk, which means his bones were very weak. Literally, he couldn't walk. So that could be out of the result of the kicking and falling from the bunk bed, that could result to his bones being very weak to the point that he can't walk. That's a damage, and it has been seen, even if he literally did not have a physical damage that would show that this had happened. And again, remember, they said there was a bruise at his back. So that's addition to the autopsy. Now let's go back to the autopsy saying that he was given a chemical. I didn't really look into the autopsy. I can't really tell the specific substance that was given to him. But yes, he was given a chemical that killed him inside, and that was probably what also touched the surface of his lips. We can actually assume what touched the surface of his lips that actually caused the peeled lips and everything. So looking into details of the stories and everything that's happened, you can actually tell that the bullying actually happened, the chemical actually happened, and in fact everything that happened in school was what killed Slyvester. So the autopsy results coming out, and the results definitely that came out, proves the point that everything that True Crime Daniel said in Slyvester's first video, the one he did, is false and not true basically. So he did another video and he was trying to compare the autopsy to the story again, and he also said some things that quite can be arguable, but that's by the way. Again, I just want to highlight the fact that the people or the fellow students of Dowen College who was mentioned in a death declaration, which by law death declaration are actually admissible per se. So it means once it is done, there's no argument about that. It did not need to be proven, like it's acceptable and true. So the people mentioned in this death declaration rather have been released, including whatever his fucking name is. The housemaster has been released, which is very shocking because if you have watched the video where Dowen students' parents came up on Zoom meeting to talk about this issue, another parent made mention that her son suffered the same thing as Slyvester, but luckily her son did not die, and that the principal of the school told her in person that had it been the video of them bullying his son was not online, she would have not cared. Now this means you really do not care about your students' welfare in school, even after students are literally paying 3 million naira annually for their well-being. Now let's get this fact. In her story, she mentioned that Adamu, I guess is the name of the housemaster, was involved in this case and took no responsibility in taking care of the boys' hostel, including his co, who is a fat ass man that can't even climb up the stairs. She gave credits that in the girls' hostel they are well behaved because of a person whom she mentioned, and that is actually a disciplinarian. Now she also mentioned that in her case her son passed through bullying, and the same favor who was mentioned in Slyvester's case was also involved in her son's case. So the fact that another student came and said the same thing, or rather happened the same thing, the fact that during the protest in Dowen College they found out that 3 other students have died in Dowen College alone, even before Slyvester, in just the year 2021. I mean, that has proven everything. The fact that fellow students has come online to share their thoughts and say that yes, this has been reoccurring in the school and has always been covered up because the rich literally can go away of everything and maybe the law respects them in Nigeria. That now it is a sad truth, even if you do not want to accept it, but the truth remains that Tasha said it and said it all, that Slyvester's death will definitely end in a hashtag, and I'm afraid that is how it has ended, because yes, the culprits, or rather yes, the culprits who was actually involved in Slyvester's death has all been released off all police custody and released off all charges. Excluding that, I can tell you for a fact that Dowen College will resume as a school, like as a working active school this year. It may not be this January, but I can assure you that when the atmosphere has died down, Dowen College will continue, and parents, insensitive parents, will still take their children to Dowen College and continue to pay to these miscreants 3 million naira annually. Whether we want to accept it as a truth or not, that's just the fact. And it's very shocking because it has happened in Deeper Life High School, Akwa Ibom, Uyo, where even it went to a point where one of the teachers rather sent in, or sorry, the school sent in the school's doctor to go into the hospital and inject the student of some substances that will make the boy mute, so he won't be able to talk whatever happened to him. Or likewise, the case of rape that happened in Premier Academy Abuja, also a boarding school where a girl died, and when the autopsy was done, they realized that used condoms were found in her vagina. Till date, as we are speaking, nothing has been done about that case. Well, it is sad, but that's Nigeria for us. That is Nigeria for us. I actually felt like the fact that I actually felt like the fact that it's a case between the rich and the rich is not going to die down, but somehow level has level, and it has happened. Those students have been free, the schoolmaster has been free, the principals have been free, and after everything that's happened in Doing College, even the owners of the schools can't come out to say we are sorry. It's amazing. Well, that's all. I just wanted to clarify it out. Well, thank you for watching. Like my videos, subscribe to our channel, and watch out for more of my content. Bye.